Sources telling our Maria Bartiromo that Congress could vote on USMCA as soon as next week. Former Ted Cruz campaign pollster Chris Wilson joining us now. Chris, thanks for the time. Will Speaker Pelosi and Democrats sign off on a deal? The president says the paperwork has been on her desk for a couple days.
Yeah, it's amazing what happens whenever Congress leaves Washington and has to go home to their districts and account for what they've done or not done. And I think that's what's motivating this. I think it will come up for a vote. I doubt there'll be many changes from what the president originally submitted, despite Pelosi's cries about needing to fix things here or there. What happened is there are 31 Democrats who are in districts that Donald Trump won in 2016 that are real worried about re-election right now, because the only thing they have to account for or to talk about from accomplishing is trying to impeach the president. And so this will at least give them something when they go back home on their Christmas break to say that they did. And it's an important movement for our economy.
So what do you think is going on behind the scenes? I mean, because if there are changes, then Canada and Mexico have to agree to them. But our sources are telling us both of those countries' representatives are kind of getting antsy.
Yeah, of course they're getting antsy. They thought this was going to be a done deal a long time ago. And it's, like I said, there's been nothing that has changed here aside from the fact that Congress has let out and had to go back home to their districts. So I would imagine there probably will not be very many changes. I think Pelosi is getting a lot of blowback from her members of her caucus, telling her that, hey, we've got to actually accomplish something. And to this point, they have nothing to show since they've taken over Congress. So this would give them an accomplishment. It gives them something they're doing. And frankly, it's the right thing to do for the American people. It's the right thing to do to keep the economy going. And I think not only would President Trump like to see it happen, but Mexico and Canada would like to see it happen too.
Okay, so Chris, on a scale of 1 to 10, brass tacks, how likely is it that the deal comes up for a vote next week? You have to give me a number. I mean, even the people who want it done say that's a pretty aggressive timetable. Do you agree?
It is an aggressive timetable, but Pelosi has the authority and the power to make that happen. I think it's probably a 9 at this point. I really do believe right now her caucus is getting a lot of negative feedback from their constituents, and she's got to accomplish something. And this would give her an accomplishment.
All right. Acting Deputy Homeland Security Secretary Ken Cuccinelli confronted by former Maryland Democratic Governor Martin O'Malley. This was over President Trump's immigration policies. Mr. Cuccinelli responded earlier. Here's his comment. I want to get your take on it after. Here he is.
He made immigration policy comments, which my personal favorite was about the 2014 cages and his assertion that we were using those in this administration, which of course we're not. I reminded him that President Obama bought those cages, got right in my face, like literally inches from my nose, bumping up on me, and invited me to take a swing at him. I literally said to him, Martin, one of us is going to have to rise above this, and it's obviously not going to be you.
What do you think of that, Chris?
It's unfortunate. I think it's really remarkable. These things, this sort of thing usually happens to members of the Trump administration from activists, not from a former governor of Maryland. And Ken Cuccinelli he's a good friend of mine. He is a gentleman. He is a good man. And it's remarkable. I had lunch with Ken at the Dubliner just the week before last. So it's just crazy that this would happen to him from a former governor, and that he would not have the class to be able to walk away himself, and Ken had to do it and leave the restaurant, and it's more of the same of what we've seen from Democrats and calling out members of the Trump administration. And this is just,
and I think
it
out of
goes
context,
too far,
right? As well, as you mentioned,
right.
When people are on their private time with their families, that's crossing a sort of line.
And O'Malley didn't even know what he was talking about. That's what's so crazy about this, is he did not even know what he was talking about. He's blaming Obama policies on Ken Cuccinelli, which is just, it's at least figure out what you're going to complain about if you're going to confront somebody on it.
All right. Chris, we thank you. Chris Wilson with us there.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.